had to shake out some of my nerves to share this today, but here it goes. I'm a copywriter, which means I have written marketing words that have made other creative businesses as well as my own a chunk of sales, but I have made so many mistakes along the way. Y'all have been asking for some more behind the scenes, messier style videos. So here you go. Sometimes the thing that you do so well for others or see so well in other people is the thing that it's really hard to do or see in yourself or in your own business. Just me? Great. But seriously, I have been at this marketing and copywriting thing for a long time, and last year was the biggest in terms of team and revenue growth. Growth is good, but it also comes with making mistakes. And if you have an online business in any sort, that means making those mistakes right in front of everybody, right? So goes business ownership. There are 4 mistakes that I've made with copy that I've written as a copywriter. And today I want to talk through those so you can look out for them as you write your own copy and messaging for your creative small business. I've got a lot of great content teed up in videos that are specifically going to talk about writing your own website words, DIYing that, as well as your brand message, storytelling, and copywriting in general. Those are all teed up for the following few weeks. So if you want to be the first to know when those come out, just hit the subscribe button below. Number 1 mistake, I didn't develop and grow my brand story over time. My mastermind sisters last year specifically gave me feedback to work on and address my own brand story. I talk a lot about my past and overcoming an eating disorder, and then how that ties into the message that I talk about so much of figuring out how to work from a place of rest, not hustle, and then how your copywriting, when done well, can pull its weight and help you enter into that space of a little more rest and a little less hustle. But I haven't woven the past into the present and what overcoming pieces of that looks like now. That brand story just kind of sort of stopped. The women in my mastermind have encouraged me to share who I am, who my sweet husband is, how we met, how we fell in love, and what it's like to have a past pretty public history with anorexia, and then what that in turn looks like as I got pregnant. So what's the solution to this problem? I need to take my own advice. I tell my students inside my signature program, Copywriting for Creatives, that you need to have 3 brand stories nailed down pat and have them in your back pocket at all times. Number 1, your origin story and why it is that you do what you do. Number 2, your aha moment, the moment when you realize that you specifically have a skill set or an interest that can serve somebody or give them something that they need. And number 3, a good testimonial or transformation story that somebody has had from purchasing your product or working with you as a service provider. You need to know those 3. You need to share them over and over in your storytelling and in your copy, in your message, in your business. I've taught so many students how to do this as well as done it for clients, so I will link a YouTube video below where I dig into this a little bit more. Number 2, I worried way too much about a slogan. One of my favorite completely non-business websites, Gospel Coalition, recently had 2 opposing articles arguing different sides of a topic. I think taglines are like that, and I could very easily argue the affirmative case for slogans, for taglines, and for that little piece of copy, but in this video, I'm gonna argue against them. Forbes said it well that it is increasingly common for a brand to go tagline-less, especially in B2B, where standing out among competitors that seemingly offer the same product or service requires a nuanced brand identity that often can't just be summed up in a single catchphrase. Heck yes. One of my students inside my Blueprint Model mentoring group was asking me and the other women in the group for some feedback on 3 different taglines that she had pulled out for the brand. I don't know, but as a copywriter who focuses specifically on conversion for creative industry entrepreneurs, I just don't see the ROI for focusing on really solidifying a tagline or a slogan as much as I see focusing on other pieces of messaging. I will have clients make hundreds of thousands of dollars on a product launch that we work really, really hard on, and at the same time, I will have students and clients that build out a beautiful website with great killer messaging, and they start landing their dream clients. And all those businesses that are bubbling up to mind right now, those clients and students, they don't have slogans, they don't have taglines. Full disclosure, I did focus on this when I first started my business, and my tagline was stringing words, slinging ink. I was trying to tie together both calligraphy and copywriting side of my business, and I also liked the alliteration. Well, let me tell you about how much weight that phrase pulled in my business. In the end, after a few months, I just realized that was a vague phrase that wasn't necessarily pulling its weight on the precious real estate that was my website and all of the words that went into it. So solution here, if you are worried about a slogan or a tagline, I want you to just give it up for a bit. Instead, I want you to focus on the questions that your website should be answering. Specifically, I want you to be focusing on how it converts. Never stop testing. So that's my solution. And after you watch this video, I would love for you to pop down and grab a free guide I have to 44 questions that your website or your shop should be answering. That'll help you out. Number 3, I didn't talk about clients or people that I'd worked with for fear of bragging. Remember when I said earlier that a mistake I've made is that I haven't fully fleshed out bits and pieces of my own brand message and my own brand story as my business has grown over time? This is where it all goes down. Now, I've also definitely done the reverse of this, where I've worked so very hard on building clients' businesses and getting them sales, and then again, it's sometimes just hard to turn that around and actually look at my own business. I want you to comment below with a heck yes if you've ever put your clients or your customers in front of working on your own business. It seems to be pretty common. While I teach my students inside Copywriting for Creatives exactly how to gather testimonials and then leverage them in the conversion copy on their website, who has 2 thumbs and isn't so good at it herself? Me. The solution here, I want you to create a fabulous banking system for pulling in those transformational and testimonial stories that you have as a business owner. Whether it is part of the offboarding process that you have to funnel clients to a testimonial form inside your CRM, or you have a system for snapping and archiving testimonials that people may be posting on social media about your product, I want you to work on this. What that's looked like specifically for me is letting one girl of my team take and own this project and really start to dig into figuring out our client and our student success stories and filing those so we can use them in our brand messaging. Systems, systems, systems. And number 4, I said your about page isn't about you, it's about your customer or your client. I guess I just heard that back in marketing in the early 2010s, if that's a word, when I was taking the leap from college into the professional world itself, but I took it as gospel truth. Yeah, I don't really think that. People say that all the time, but your about page, it is about you. It's about you, but through the lens of your clients and your customers. Specifically, if you are a creative small business owner and are a lot of the face of your brand, then I think you need to switch your mindset around a bit and realize that you have a monopoly on your story. That's your competitive advantage. The solution here, I don't want you to be afraid to talk about yourself on your about page or in your brand, especially if you are a personal brand. There's a balance here, and I can't quite in a YouTube video dig into your headline copy versus your subhead versus all of the body copy on your about page and how that ebbs and flows in regard to this. But a takeaway that I want you to have is put your ear to the ground a little bit and start to learn and listen to your customers and to your clients and to your followers and start to figure out how much of you do they want to hear. Your about page is just as capable of conversion as any other page on your website. And as you tell your story, you've got to kind of lead a horse to water and start to show how your story affects your clients and your customers and how they in turn may want to work with or buy from you. Okay, I hope this video was helpful for you. If you want more, don't forget that there is that freebie down below, 44 questions that your website needs to be answering. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.